operate CMO.net at 1877 North Westwood Boulevard. Earlier this year,
Mr. Becker, excuse me, you do not live in Poplar Bluffs, you live in Wayne County, correct?
yes, but I didn't realize that you were not pro-business, so do I have the ability to stand here as a business owner who owns and operates? Well, I don't understand the reason for the question when I own and operate a business inside the city limits, which pays for your ability to stand here and judge me. Earlier this year, when everyone's electric bills appeared much higher than normal, I started an investigation into the electric rates, and more specifically the fuel factor, which is charged at 2 cents for every kilowatt hour used. On a number of occasions, City Manager Bagby has stated that this city's rates are low compared to other cities. For example, in the minutes of the December 3rd, 2012 meeting, Bagby stated, Marion, Illinois needed to lower rates 20% and are still considerably higher than ours. In actuality, Marion's rates are almost 2.5 cents per kilowatt hour less than ours once the fuel factor is added. I also called Sykeston, Missouri, and their plant manager said they do not have a fuel factor and their standard utility rate is 2.25 cents less than ours for the first 1,000 kilowatts and 4 1/3 cents after that. Clearly, our rates are very high compared to other areas. According to your policy, our utilities manager, Bach, is supposed to calculate this fuel factor every 6 months. Through the Sunshine Law, City Clerk Kirby has stated no calculations exist since the ones done in 2006 and 2007. Yet, Bach consistently appears before you asking to increase the fuel factor every year. I've also obtained copies of the city's invoices for power in order to find out what the fuel factor should be. And I believe there's a cause to be made that it should be a negative number. That's right. Our fuel factor should actually be lowering our electric rates rather than raising them. I've included the calculations both online and in this if you'd like to see it. How can you allow this man, Mr. Bach, to continue to run our city utilities is beside me. Please ask Mr. Bach to answer for this atrocity. He is stealing the money from the good people of our community. He's taxing our citizens by over 35% on our electric bills. Furthermore, if you ascertain that Bach has not been submitting calculations every 6 months for the fuel factor, then you should demand his resignation. First, it was discovered that the city was using unethical appraisals for their land grab. Then it was discovered that Bach allegedly lied about the lowest bidder in order to award the bid to the one he wanted and cost us $250,000. And now it has been uncovered that Bach has arbitrarily and capriciously been increasing our fuel factor with none of the required calculations. And finally, I was outside this door last Friday during your special closed meeting, and City Clerk Pam Kirby was not in that meeting. I was picking up invoices she had called me a few minutes earlier or emailed me to come pick up. These invoices that I've been discussing with you today. Why would the city clerk not be in this closed meeting? Let me go out on a limb here. My guess is that she's the employee spoken of in the DAR today. And after getting the deer in the headlights look from each council member I asked, I'm quite confident that it was her. To me, this is retaliation over Mr. Branham's request that she resign last month. So in my opinion, this entire special meeting regarding Branham's resignation is a misdirection for the corruption uncovered. So let me be perfectly clear. Bach and Kirby need to be dismissed immediately. Johnny, you have my full support. And I'm very sorry that you are having to withstand this abusive behavior by your own city. Stay the course, my friend. Look around you. The 3 faces across from you will be gone next May.
I think we've heard enough from him. Yeah. Ask him to leave. He needs to leave. I've heard enough.
He may have his support, but he can't vote for you if he doesn't live in the city.
Next item for discussion.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. You know, he pointed out that specifically to me that the city pays my salary. They do, I get $1 a year.
On a plaque.
And if we go on to training sessions, we get reimbursed for that. But I understand that I live in this city and pay taxes after 49 years. And so Mr. Becker can make all the allegations he wants. This started a long time ago. When he had a newspaper article that was printed that he wanted to fire Doug, he wanted to fire Wally, and he wanted to fire Pam. Why? Because they did their job following the statutes of the state of Missouri that we as a council asked them to do. And Mr. Becker, when he made that statement just a minute ago, you don't know till the votes are all counted. And so if we want to let a resident of Wayne County run our city, that's fine. I know he has stood here before and said that was his address where he lived. And he has never been before, to my knowledge, before the planning and zoning or before this board to ask for a special use permit. And we have those to safeguard neighborhoods to where they don't change just on the whim. So that's the reason I asked him that question.
I have never stated I lived at that address. What I have stated is that I'm registered to vote at that address, and every time I'm asked to give my address, I say that I own and operate a business at 1877 North Westwood. That should be retracted.
You're registered from.
Well, I won't retract anything I've said, sir.
Okay. Moving on now, item for discussion at special meeting, the city council will discuss the resignation of Councilman Johnny Random and procedure for filling the petition of Ward 4 councilperson. This item is to, when a councilman resigns, we're supposed to notify people if there's an opening and procedure for filling that position. Since Councilman Random drew back his resignation, this item 5 is a moot point, and we have no need to discuss that any further. I have you back still on it.
I have a couple comments, and we have time. And one is, this is, I don't know, this is, I'm not on the name. I haven't read the newspaper article today, folks. I don't read the DAR. I received a couple calls, but I haven't read the article. I'm going to worry about that. I don't feel this was a retaliation from an employee that somebody said something about. You know, I just kind of wrote something down here, and I'm just going to say how I feel about it. It doesn't pertain to any of that. You know, it pertains to us as a group and Mr. Backby.
Don't speak for me, please. Just speak for yourself.
It is. I am speaking for myself.
Well, when you said a group, I just don't want to be included.
You know, the meeting, to me, this has kind of been a kind of a culmination of some repressive tactics that started back before my election. You know, I wake up Sunday morning to I'm not going to say who called, you know, person called me, said, go get the newspaper. And Mr. Bagley, I mean, as a city manager, basically publicly attacked my career. That being said, you know, he didn't feel like my points were, we didn't see eye to eye. I'm not going to read this book, I read forward. But, you know, and over the past year, I kind of felt, yes, I've been ridiculed for issues I felt were voting for things no, that some people, that I felt was in the best interest not to vote for. You know, I've addressed things about the insurance and engineering services, which we should be bidding some of these things out to save the residents, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars. We don't do that. These are not things, you know, and we are. This city is much more than the 8 points development, which is all I've heard since I've been here. We have Ms. Pearson Ward, you know, when Ms. Abshires is in desperate need of grass cutting and things. Robert, Robert's, I talked to Robert, his ward has had a lot of issues, and we just basically ignored. Because all we talked about is 8 points, and a year ago it was a big development. Now it's a 3-stage development, and with possibly only 1 stage even being built at this time. You know, the public understands that we need to concentrate on the issues of the average citizen that struggles daily to work and support their families, and the local business community understands we need to attract growth. But not to the expense that has been in our community for generations, which have expanded. And we still have a couple right now that is usually doing a very good job of expanding without any of these huge city monetary subsidies that we've done. You know, and I know these issues are in just basically a direct contrast to the position Mr. Bagley taken. You know, and because he encouraged spending millions of dollars, that their tax dollars generated by citizens, local businesses, to subsidize multi-billion-dollar corporations. That's fine if we have taken care of everybody but little person first. You know. To me, the election process that we just saw, my election first in general, and then Ms. Pearson's, it has sent a message to me that the city wants, not necessarily replace anybody. They just want us to kind of change and observe that all of our wards need a certain amount of money spent to them. We have fire department that actually needs fire trucks right now. A lot of them worn out, you know, but we don't have the money because we've adjusted that money to other items that hopefully will pay off. They might not pay off. And, you know, over all that, I kind of felt that I have been so outspoken that I have kind of become a target. You know, that being said, I'm not resigning from the City Council, and about 7 o'clock last night, I informed Mr. Bagley and Mayor Harris in writing that I was withdrawing my resignation, and I did just that. I'm here to stay. I intend to stay. I'm going to work for the ordinary folks, not the big corporations or these big people that want subsidies. I'm here for the people that voted me in. And I've not been able to address a lot of the issues that they want. I'm sorry, Mr. Becker, I haven't read your article about the 2%. If you have it on your internet, I promise I'll read it tonight. I don't know. And I hope that we can discuss this next meeting at some point.
Yeah, I can get you accurate information.
Yeah, and that's what I'd like. We have cable that freezes up. My cable freezes up constantly at my house. I think Mr. Smith said his did. I have people call me all the time. We need to do something for the people on the cable. You know. And I want everyone here to know that I'm going to do whatever it takes to personally address the events of the last few days. I'm going to defend myself against any false allegations, which are any that I have heard so far are false. And I'm going to take whatever action necessary to protect the citizens, myself, and the city. The good people of Ward 4 and everyone in our community deserve better than what that we've been given. And in that being said, I'm going to stay. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to make the adjustments I need to be here. I have an added work schedule. I do have some medical issues that I have a doctor's appointment. So I had the issues that's gotten worse. I'm going to work as hard for these people as I can work. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here for 2 years, and I hope to work with everyone. You know, really fun.